Hearty welcome to one and all. And now, the verbal and non-verbal communication, what are the differences? So the verbal communication, as I have told you already, if you are compiling all that, you can easily understand the verbal communication, language, word, sentences and all. And here the body language, the tone, pause. Suppose some people, they are talking without any pause. And some people very slowly, after putting some pause. Pause is very important in speech. If you are giving a pause, you are also taking rest and you are allowing the opponent also to grasp them in the ears, because continuously if you are speaking, then it is boring for the opponent also. You may ask a question, sir, why you are talking for 1 hour? The reason is that because it's an online communication and therefore that there are some restrictions. I can unmute all of you, but the thing is that the noise that cannot be controlled, and therefore we are muting all that. What are the channel? The human voice and the space, that is a channel, and here there are so many channel. Non-verbal communication, entire body, the face, tone. The example for communication, verbal communication in a face-to-face conversation, mostly, or a phone call, or a loudspeaker, non-verbal also. That is mostly when one person is looking at the other one. Suppose you are looking at me, and therefore I can talk the communication. And therefore, most of the verbal communication may take place in any other way. But the non-verbal communication, mostly when the people, they are in the near vicinity. And the mode of communication, the verbal, it is voluntary and linear. And suppose I am coming with a clear-cut understanding or clear-cut plan to convey the message, and therefore that is the verbal communication. Non-verbal communication, mostly they are voluntary or mostly they are spontaneous. That nobody is, what to tell, planned for doing the non-verbal communication, and it is largely involuntary and not well thought of, because people are getting angry immediately out of joy. Suppose you have got selected in some examination, then out of joy automatically that you are expressing your feelings. And so the unlike verbal communication, non-verbal communication is not linear. And then the verbal communication is very conscious process, and it is not a conscious process. And the decoding side, verbal communication is easy to decode because I am expressing my verbal communication easily that you can understand. But the non-verbal communication, it's very difficult to decode because it is extremely difficult what I mean to say. Because my facial expression, one may understand in one way, another may understand in another way also. Okay, and therefore non-verbal communication needs a lot of practice. But in practically, most of the people give more importance for the verbal communication. Okay, and non-verbal communication is somewhat more important. So, okay, now the different kinds of communication. The written communication, it is somewhat simple and easy. That writing message, and it is expressing the words exchanged, and it is mostly official and business, because in examination that you are in the mode of writing communication or written communication, email, memo, report, document, letter, journal, job, mostly all these are coming under non-verbal communication or written communication. And institutions are maintaining their documents in the written form, And the effectiveness of written consent depends on the correct selection of words only, because here there is no verbal or non-verbal cues. And therefore, by choosing the proper word, that you have to maintain the communication more legal. Because when you want some legality, then you go for non-verbal or written communication. Generally, we are saying, you give it in written. That means that don't say you please give it in written, means that you write a paper and write something. Unless verbal communication, here the feedback is not immediate, because I am writing a letter to you, or I am writing an examination, or I am writing a document. The result may come after some few days or few hours. And so the written communication also needs some skill that you have to master, and that is mostly vocabulary. And the frequent writing, correcting grammatical error and mistakes. And so written communication is a totally different one, and the practice is very different from the verbal communication. And then comes listening. So there is a proverb, கற்றலிற் கேற்றலேன் and கேட்பினும் கேளா தகையவே கேள்வியால் தோற்கப்படாத செவி. Okay, and actually there is a Tirukural, because I am using much more Tirukural all the time, because Tirukural is easily understandable, because only one Tirukural, it is using the word in the same Kural for 5 times. Selvathul Selvam, Sevichelvam, Achelvam, Selvathul Yellam Thalai. So in this Tirukural, the word Selvam is used 5 times. And so the listening is very, very important. Speaking is off, listening is 100%. And so the ability to receive and interpret message accurately in communication process, that's very important. That's why most of the time we are saying you please keep quiet, because if you are keeping quiet, then you can at least grasp something. And if you are also talking, I am also talking, then the communication process will not happen. And so the listening is another important skill. The act of listening includes the affective, cognitive, and behavioral process. Affective means the heart. Cognitive means the brain. And the behavior, your attitude. So what's your attitude to listen? Suppose unless otherwise that I give some importance to you, I will not listen to you. You won't listen to me. And therefore, the motivation is very, very important for listening, because to make others to listen what you are saying is very difficult. So, okay. And so these are some the receiver side listening. Active listening is an exchange of content between two or multiple persons. So you need a listening skill also. An active listener analyzes both verbal and non-verbal communication. Suppose if you are observing me properly, then you will understand, you will try to decode whatever I say and whatever my body language also. See, for example, I am using my hands and other things and all. And so that you will try to understand what I am trying to express. Listening is an important skill, and therefore most of the literature says கற்றலிற் கேற்றலேன் and. That means that you have to listen a lot, and the listening is a very good, very important skill. But actually nowadays most of the people, they are not giving more importance for listening communication, because listening is as equal as speaking. And most of the time that we have heard about the word English speaking course, have you ever heard English listening course? Because that's more important. So you have to listen. Suppose if you want to speak very fluent American English, you don't go for American English speaking course. Rather, you listen to American film or American cine songs and all. The more and more that you listen, naturally that your English grammar and English speaking will gradually improve. And therefore, For becoming a good speaker in a language, you should be a good listener also. Otherwise, speaking will never come. And then the visual communication. So the word itself says transmission of information using the symbol, sign, and image. See, I am using a visual communication also. You are looking at my face and the studio behind me. And it requires the graph, chart, map, book, poster, so on and so forth. And the person does not require a particular language to understand. See, for example, the dance, Russian dance, ballet dance, or so many other different dances are there. But we don't know the language, but still we enjoy. Because in the visual communication, it hardly needs any language. So without language also we can understand or we can enjoy. And it is remaining the same across the country. That's why most of the dance programs, many people are attending the Russian dance or the Indian Bharatanatyam. There are many countries are enjoying the Bharatanatyam. You don't be a master in the Sanskrit or Tamil for understanding the Bharatanatyam. Simply the visual effects are enough. And now the elements of visual communication, the objects, the model, the three-dimensional model, graph, all these we are using, all the teachers we are using all these, and so I don't need explaining them in detail. The graph, the table, map, photograph, and the physical presentation. So now I am using the presentation. Whatever I am using, you sell. Object, definitely I use. Model, graph, table, one or two tables that I have shown, and map, I didn't say show. The photograph, many photographs that I have shown, and the presentation, the slideshow, motion pictures and all. And so all these are the elements of good communication. And now the next point, the barrier. What are the barrier to effective communication? Hearing impairment or speech impairment. I am unable to speak or you are unable to hear. The language, accent also. See, for example, if I am talking in the Tirunelveli accent, you are talking in Chennai accent, so definitely it will make it somewhat difficult. But naturally, after some time, people will understand. But initially, there will be a problem. Lack of attention, interest, hardly how much time that you can maintain your interest, attention, hardly 1 hour, not more than that. 1.5 hours, okay, to some extent, but definitely not more than 1.5 hours. And irrelevant content. Suppose if I am speaking all what to tell, bolt and nut, then it's useless. Jargon, very complicated words. Physical barrier, psychological barrier, anger. Suppose, for example, if you are suffering from any of these, anger, fear, insecurity, jealous, shyness, or inability to listen to others. So for some people, they are unable to listen to others and they will not listen also. Cultural barrier, the religious belief. Suppose if I am talking about some Bhagavad Gita and all, then the religious barrier will come. Those who are having some faith over it, they will listen, and others they will not listen. Why should they listen? Technological barrier, and so all this. Some of them have commented some annotation. Actually, it itself is in the form of annotation only, and therefore that I don't understand what does it mean, annotation. Annotation means the explanation. The promoting effective communication. How shall we promote? Develop interest first of all. Whichever that you are interested in, you please listen to that. Prepare clearly and thoroughly. So without preparation, you cannot understand. Practice. Present your presentation with friends and well-wisher. Develop your efficiency and the language fluency. Integrate all types of communication, verbal, non-verbal, and visual, all this. go for a training and understand the psychology of the receiver. Suppose if all the students are before me, then I can understand your psychology and then I can improve my communication also. And then some more writing ability, use simple words and pronounce correctly, use visuals, be humorous and tell some friendly joke also. But at the same time, my dear students, by telling joke, it shouldn't be too much or it shouldn't harm others also. Okay. And get feedback. Be appreciative because I am getting feedback from you also, because I am listening to you and I am seeing what are the chat box and also what are the chats that also that I see. And be appreciative. Always appreciate the receiver. Get inspiration from the role model, Mahatma Gandhi, or what to tell, Martin Luther. Martin Luther is a very great speaker. Martin Luther, Mahatma Gandhi, Nelson Mandela, all these are very great speakers in the world, are very great communicators. So you get inspiration. And then now that we are coming to the end of the story, check your progress, define effective communication. What are the 7 elements of communication? Explain verbal communication, some common barrier. So far we have listed about so many barriers for effective communication. And what are the key factors to develop good leadership and personality? And so you can check your process now, your progress now. Now I stop sharing because it is the end of the story. I think almost the time is up. I'll stop the sharing. And now I express all of you. What are your comments and what are your Sai, எல்லாரையும் unmute பண்ணுங்க. You can express or you can ask questions. எங்க இருக்கு unmute?
இல்ல சார், அது அவங்க பண்ணிக்கணும் சார், நம்ம பண்ண முடியாது சார்.
இங்க இருந்து பண்ண முடியும்ல?
இல்ல சார், நம்ம கண்ட்ரோல் இல்ல சார், அவங்களா.
சரி, okay. Now it is very end of the game and any questions you can ask or you can share your ideas, any doubts you can clarify. And today that I'll put up the assignment, and my dear students, all of you, please do the assignment. Some 1 or 2 notification that I want to tell you. And today that I'll share the assignment. There's a last date which is mentioned in the assignment itself. And so you please go through the assignment. And some of you have asked about the examination and all. So automatically you please look at the WhatsApp group, because all the communication now, as far as we are concerned, all our communication channel is WhatsApp only, WhatsApp and WebEx channel only. And therefore you look at the WhatsApp, whatever the information that will be through WhatsApp only. And as far as the assignment is concerned, you please send your assignment physically. Don't send through electronic way, scanning and sending and all. So physically that you please through postal way, you please send the assignment. And if any doubts and all, I think today is the 4th or 5th session, I think so. And any doubts and all that you can clarify in the WhatsApp itself. You can clarify, the concerned teachers will respond to it. And at now, if any doubts that you can, now the podium or the stage is for you. You shall ask any questions.
Sir, good evening, sir. I am Bala Subramanian.
Yes, sir.
Sir, am I audible?
Yes, yes, definitely.
Very nice session, sir. Actually, we couldn't have that time. That is what I couldn't attend the previous classes. But today it's a very nice, and we have come to know about the communicative process and what are the barriers in communication and how we have to improve our language skill. All that you have explained in an elaborate way. Thank you very much. In spite of your busy schedule, you have given us a good time to enlighten us. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
So, okay. So, some of you are asking for the PowerPoint presentation. What we are assuring you, we will collect all the PowerPoint presentation and all at a time that we will send it to you. So, my PowerPoint, because actually when we are sending one by one, most of the students they are missing the PowerPoint PPT, and so again and again they are asking. And so what we are planning at the end of, because on 30th this session will be over, and after that we will upload all the PowerPoint through the WhatsApp, and you please download. Most of the PPTs are in the form of notes only, and so directly that you can take them, and that we will send the assignment and everything, and so that it is easy for you to. And some of you have asked about the examination. Please wait, and when the examination portals are open and examination dates are announced, automatically it will be shared through the WhatsApp and your mail also, your mail or WhatsApp. And beyond that, you please check the internet also, our website, TNOE website, every day or once in a week, you please check. And all the information, they will be scrolling in the homepage also. And so easily that you can come to know that the examination dates and everything, all the information, because being an open university, all the communication is through the internet or the TNOE website only. So I thank all of you for a very nice listening, and whatever that I have taught today, the communication is very important. It is not for the theoretical side, and it's more practical. And so you please try to improve your communication, and by the way, you improve your communication is a life skill also, and you try to improve your personality. So thank you. Thanks a lot.